And welcome to Bronze and Modern Gods. Once again, I am John, and next to me is my buddy Richard. That way.
Hey, John.
I mean, it's only episode, what, 17? I'll get it right eventually.
We'll tape an arrow to your desk.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just like when you go to the UK and they have like look both ways when you cross the right way. Hey, first of all, thanks to all the new subscribers this week. Our Venom 27 live stream reporting special breaking news seemed to have brought a lot of new people on board. So we want to say thank you. We also want to say that if you are new to the podcast, make sure that you are also following us on Facebook and Instagram at Bronze and Modern Gods. And the way we do this is we get together, Richard and I, we've been friends for 30 years, and we talk funny books and what's happening in the market, and we're glad you're with us. Let's get started, Richard. I think the first thing we need to look at are our nerd shirts today. You go first.
I am wearing my National Sarcastic Society shirt, like we need your support.
Enough said. I am wearing my songwriting firm of Bloom, Dolgan, and Schlesinger shirt, which was a shirt that was made to commemorate the memory of Adam Schlesinger, a friend of mine who passed away on April 1st of coronavirus. And the proceeds for this shirt went to first responders in New York City in the COVID epidemic. And just a reminder for everyone, please take this seriously. It's not fake. It's not a hoax. I had a very good friend of mine pass from this, and this was just a fun way. If you're not familiar with Rachel Bloom and Jack Dolgan and Adam Schlesinger was the songwriter and one of the main people in Fountains of Wayne, who you know from their hit Stacy's Mom. And he and Rachel Bloom wrote all the songs along with Jack for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which ran for 4 years on the CW, and they had these shirts made, and I had to have one to give a big ups to my buddy Adam. So please, everyone, stay safe, take it seriously, just like we're taking this week seriously when it comes to Venom 27. We got more to say about it, Rich.
Yeah, wow, a lot of heat going on about this book. A lot of information that's gelling over time.
So, Richard, after all this excitement over Venom 27 and the error variant and all this stuff, we put an invitation out to Nelson Chua from Big Time Collectibles to join us. And I think it's great. He accepted, and he's here and joining us now. So, hi there, Nelson.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing tonight?
Awesome.
Yeah. So I think the best place to start at the beginning is at the beginning. Tell us what happened here. What was going on?
A week ago, which is a week before the release of Venom 27, Diamond Comics called me and said that, hey, Nelson, unfortunately, we had a backed up at the printer. And so your exclusive will be delayed 2 to 3 weeks. So most likely it won't not ship to you until the week of August 26th. I was a bit frustrated about that, but I mean, it is what it is. I can't do anything if my exclusive ain't going to show up. So I told him, well, thank you for the heads up, and I'll see it on the 26th. So we hanged up. The first thing I did the same day, I emailed all my customers and said, hey, it's going to be delayed. And that's all I know. And of course, some people are frustrated because books are going to be delayed. And some are okay, you know, so because it is what it is. That's stuff like that sometimes happen, but not all the time.
Yeah, sure.
So life goes on. And then Tuesday happens. So this past Tuesday, I saw on Facebook that some retailers are saying, I did not receive my 1 in 100 variant, but for some odd reason, I received the John Boy Mayer exclusive, which, by the way, shout out to John Boy Mayers. That's an awesome cover, by the way.
Great. It's really good.
Yep. So they were saying that they never received the 1 in 100, but for some odd reason, they got my trade dress exclusive. So when I saw it, I'm like, maybe this is just an anomaly, maybe just one retailer. And then for some odd reasons, another retailer said, oh, I got this. And another retailer said, oh, I got another John Boy Mayer and stuff. And I contacted Diamond Comics and Marvel. And of course, I didn't get a response that same day. But around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I looked at eBay just to make sure that are these retailers going to sell my books, because I don't have any. I didn't
Right.
receive any, and they have my books.
Wow.
So I saw one guy selling it for, I think, $1,200, and I'm like, why are you selling it for $1,200? And he got it flipped up where it has my trade dress version and the 1 in 100 inside, and it got hit and hit me in the head. I already know what happened. They accidentally stapled my trade dress to the 1 in 100 variant. So finally, I was able to get a hold of Diamond Comics. They said, and because of course, I was a little pissed. I called them choice words, and but they apologized and said, we did not lie to you, because at the point when we called you, that's what the marble printer told us. I mean, the Diamond, that they have a backed up and mine is going to be delayed, but nobody told them that it got stapled to the 1 in 100 variant. So what actually happened was the 1 in 100 variant was getting printed at the same printer they were printing my exclusive.
Okay.
So when the 1 in 100 was done, most likely what happened was the stack of the cover for the John Boy Mayer's exclusive was on the same area, and those got stapled and sent to Diamond Comics distribution. And of course, the box will say John Stegman sketch variant when it hits Diamond Comics. So of course, the people that work at Diamond Comics doesn't really always know what they're looking at. They just base it on what it says on the box and what allocation needs to go to particular retailers that qualified for the 1 in 100 variant. And here's the thing, though. It only happened, and it only made it to the Olive Branch Diamond Comics.
Okay.
The other, there's two of them. I forgot where the other place was. They never received it. They got the real deal. They got the real 1 in 100. Funny thing is, Diamond Comics sent out an email to all retailers saying the 1 in 100 will be delayed and you won't get it until 8/26, which is exactly the same date I'll be getting mine.
Right.
Same week of my exclusive. So actually, you can put all dots together. What happened there.
So how many do you think got out there? Were you ever told?
Okay, as far as I know, they were able to catch it, but 2 cases have already been emptied and been sent out. A case is 240 at the most. 240 at the most per case. They were able to figure out what happened, but there's already 2 cases that got out, unfortunately. So there's at least 480 that I know of. So and also I'm seeing people that saying that it's not a double cover error variant. Well, it is. Just because I've seen some, I've actually bought some. I hate to say it, I bought my own cover. I mean, I paid like $350 at LCS to get my own cover. It's sad, but yeah, I want to have one of it at least.
Yeah, so, I don't know if you saw our video, but I was at the Frank and Son Collectibles show here in Southern California, and a few retailers had it out that Wednesday. So I've seen it as well. So the only reason why I know, one of the reasons why I know it is a double cover is when I open it, it is the sketch cover inside, and it has a barcode. The barcode is different from what it is on the back. Yep. Of the exclusive. I know it's 100% double cover error variant. It's not, it's not a fake double, because we all know some exclusives will have the regular cover inside. There are a few that are like that, but this is totally different. This is an actual double cover. And I don't know if 480 is considered a lot. I don't know. So, but there is at least 480 that is out there. What do you think about all this? If someone has one of these, what should they do? Because we were talking about this earlier today. I feel there's like ethical implications here to an extent.
Yeah, I would say if you have it, I'd say send it to me so I can make money off of it, because everyone is making money off of it except for the guy that owns the exclusive cover for it. But no, kidding aside, the proper thing to do is to return it to Diamond Comics. But who is in their right mind to send back a $500 comic book now? I mean, you can't be that crazy to send it back.
Right. But just so everyone knows, what was the original exclusive? Because they may not be aware. What was it supposed to be? 3,000 of?
It's 3,000. 3,000 trade dress and 1,000 of the Virgin variant. Everybody forgot that when we put it on pre-order, it sold out in less than 5 minutes, because
Right.
it was the first unmasked appearance of Codex, the cover BS. So the set went sold out on about close to 3.5, 4 minutes, and then the trade dress, it took a little bit of time, but it eventually sold out.
So you've got 3,000 of the Virgin or the trade dress?
It will be 3,000 trade dress and 1,000 of the Virgin variant.
And those are all gone. And if you had pre-ordered one, you're not, just to make it clear, you're not going to get a double cover variant.
No, sir. You're not going to get a double cover. Marvel made sure that when we get our 3,000, it will be the corrected version. It's not going to be double cover.
Great. And when are you expecting those? Still on the 26th?
The week of the 26th release. So, and we'll be busy packing. Oh, by the way, I don't want to discredit. I have a partner on this. It's Slab City Comics of UK. Good guy.
What are your feelings about all this? When you come away from this, is it kind of just is what it is at this point?
I was fuming mad at first, like real mad.
I don't,
and I was talking to my wife about it. My wife, comforting me on all of this and stuff, and I've not been receiving any answers from Diamond Comics and Marvel at the moment. So I don't know what to do. And then I'm seeing people selling it for 500, and I'm like, I'm the guy that owns it and don't even have one, and I'm of course I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie, and I ended up buying a few for premium, but I gotta have it. I want to have one, it's an heir apparent. But I was thinking to myself, I wasn't gonna say a word until I'm able to buy a few, under $500, because once I tell what I know, and people might think 480 is a low number, I think that might explode. And I see it on eBay right now that a bunch of people are selling it. So, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of the ones that are kind of bidding on it, so I could own some more of it, knowing what I know.
I can't say I blame you. I mean, a business is a business. You can also kind of look at it this way. Maybe this is a silver lining. A lot of people know about BTC now. You're correct. Here. We're happy to plug it. I know this guy right here is a big BTC fan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, thank you, Richard. John, aren't you a Big Time Collectibles fan?
I am now.
There you go.
I'm more of a Silver Age, Bronze Age guy. Richard handles the modern stuff, but now I'm learning about all this stuff. And watch, is going to show off now. He's going to show.
Yeah, this is one of my wall books. This is my permanent wall book.
Wow. Wow. There's not a lot. There's not a whole lot of that.
What? Anything else you want to hit about this? I don't want to call it a fiasco, but about this incident that we have missed, or you think we covered it all?
Well, like you said, a silver lining is a lot of people kind of know where and what the BTC is, and they finally noticing a lot of the good stuff we have there, because we really do have a lot of good stuff, and we actually just sold out this past Thursday. Star Wars. I don't know if you guys saw that Star Wars Adventures #1 by John Guion.
Yes.
The Darth Vader thing. Well, that's pretty awesome right there.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, if you guys are not following Big Time Collectibles on Instagram, you should be doing that right now. Also visit them online at bigtimecollectibles.com. And anything else you want to plug while we have you here, Nelson?
Because we got a lot of good stuff coming out. and you know, hopefully we get more of this air variant going on. So you know, and it's just good for us. I mean, it's good publicity, is what it was. At the end of the day, you know, it gives us a whole lot more people following us, which is awesome.
I have to say, I really respect your attitude about it, because you're taking it, I think, the right way. I think you're right there with you know, riding this wave, as opposed to yelling at a cloud like Grandpa Simpson.
Yeah. Oh, and also shout out to some of the retailers that actually sent me a message and told me, Nelson, we have your cover. Do you want us to send it to you?
Oh wow!
Oh,
And
that's nice.
that is cool. But I told them personally, I would say yes, please send it to me. However, if you guys look at eBay, it's going for over $500 now. And I knew, and some of this are local comic shop, and I know they'll be able to use that money. So I told them, you don't do what you want to do. You know, do what you want to do. You don't have to send it to me. It is what it is.
That's fantastic, and I think that really kind of sums it up. And we want to thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you putting all the speculation to rest.
Thank you. Hopefully, people, you know, continue selling whatever they have left of that Venom 27 air variant, so I can buy them all.
Exactly. Grab them all. All right. So moving on, we thought we'd do a little show and tell again. You guys seem to like this a lot. We like doing it. We like bragging. So we're going to do a little show and tell. And I'm going to let you start off, Richard. What are some of the latest gets in your collection the last couple of weeks?
This is a Champions number 1 in 100 variant. This is Alex Ross did the art for this book.
Wow.
Yeah, it is gorgeous. I really love the cover. It is one of those books that I am currently speccing on. Champions number 1 is, you've got Kamala Khan, you've got Sam Alexander as Nova, you've got Miles Morales, you got Alexander Cho, you got
Amadeus Cho.
I'm sorry, Amadeus Cho. You've got all these characters that people are speccing on individually, all in one super team. And I'm speccing on this over the Young Avengers because, one, these books are still cheap to get. I mean, I've been buying up the number 1s, the regular covers, for almost cover price, and you know, stashing them away. This has some value with it because it is a 1 in 100, and it is that gorgeous cover. But this is my spec book and PC book for this week.
So 2 things about that book. Number 1, that's not Champions number 1. I don't care what you say.
Always, you will always say that.
Champions number 1 came out in 1975 and has Hercules on the cover. So there. Number 2, that is a fun book. And I see Amadeus Cho's first appearance in Amazing Fantasy 15, Volume 2, is catching fire again. Make sure I say Volume 2, because last time I said Amazing Fantasy 15 is a hot book, everyone looked at me like, duh. The first appearance of Amadeus Cho in Amazing Fantasy 15, Volume 2.
Right, and that is a hot book. It's hard to come by, to be honest with you. It's one of those books I think has a lot of reasons why it's hot. And
I'm kicking myself. I found one in a dollar box at a show like 3 years ago. I had it forever because he was Hercules' sidekick in the Incredible Hercules for a while, and so I had that book in my collection. I got it slabbed. It was a 9.6, and I sold it like 2 years ago. I don't know why, but I did. But I do have some things to show off this week. Here's my first one. This is Captain America 212, the UK Pence edition. And if you've been listening to this podcast, you know I have a goal in the next 12 months to get every single variant of this book, a very important book in my childhood. I love the cover. I love Jack Kirby when he was on this title. And so far, I have the regular edition, and now I have the UK Pence edition. So I still have 3 more to get to have every variant, and that is the Whitman variant, the 35-cent variant, wish me luck.
Yeah.
And the 35-cent variant with no Marvel banner where the black plate came off that we discussed, the variant of a variant. So I got some work to do.
Yeah. Any leads on any of those other variants?
Nope. I have an eBay search set up, and I'm just watching and waiting, and got a Heritage alert set up. I've got a comic link. You know, I'm looking everywhere. So if you got one, shoot me a DM, won't you?
Yep. I'm in the same boat. I'm trying to finish my Ultimate Fallout run, getting all of the newsstand variants, and I'm still missing 3 of them. So,
what's your next book?
My next book is this is a new book. This is the Greg Horn variant for Venom 26. I absolutely love this cover. This War Machine homage cover. Greg Horn's signature there, and the little GH swirl, which is very, very recognizable. This is a great cover. I mean, I saw this book, I immediately bought it. It was a race to actually get this book. I went for the graded book immediately and passed by the raws. But this is really nice. Unfortunately, this is one of those books I bought and was not promised a 9.8. Sometimes when you buy pre-graded books, they will tell you we're going to give you a 9.8, and you pay for a 9.8. And they keep grading books until they get a 9.8 for you, and they give that to you. The listing said specifically highest chance for a 9.8 for a signature series. So you went in with the potential of not getting a 9.8. Now, normally when I do that, I end up getting the 9.8 anyway. In this case, I ended up getting a 9.6. It's a little bit of a downer because you know how modern new books go. The difference between a 9.8 and a 9.6 is significant. It's so. But anyway, I bought this book not necessarily to flip. I bought it because I love the cover, and with all the heat behind Venom, it was an easy buy for me. Yeah, this one is going into my PC for now.
Such a great cover based on the first appearance of War Machine back in the day. I remember that cover.
Yeah.
All right. My next one is one I got it on a live sale, and that is Avengers 71.
Oh.
This is the first, proto appearance of the Invaders. People say it's the first Invaders. Sure, but that's revisionist history because it's just, Golden Age Captain America, Golden Age Namor, and Golden Age, there he is, Human Torch. They weren't called the Invaders when they appeared here, but then when Roy Thomas created the Invaders in 1975 with these guys, this was retroactively considered their first appearance, especially since I believe it was Invaders Annual #1 kind of tells it from their side of the story years later. So that is Invaders was one of my favorite books as a kid. I didn't care it took place in World War II. I didn't care that Frank Robbins drew it. It was just, slam bam action, and Captain America was front and center. So little young John was all about it.
I always wanted to read that series. That's something that I need to go back and do. Okay, next I have a book that I bought way back in February. This is Sabrina #1. It's the Peach Momoko version. There are 300 copies of this book. I ordered it back in February, waited and waited and waited, and I pinged the store. The store said, "Oh yeah, that book has been damaged. We had replacements in, so we're sending those off to grade." This was a book I bought pre-graded, and it was guaranteed a 9.8. It just got here from February. But it's a good book. I bought it because it looks like the Bewitched cover. I saw it immediately, and I said Bewitched, and I was a huge Bewitched fan, so it made perfect sense for me to buy this. This is before all of the Peach Momoko hype or any of that kind of craziness back in February. So I just love the cover, and now it's got some heat behind it, some money.
And there's only 300 of them made.
Only 300, right?
How can they justify that print run? That really freaks me out.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they make you wait. That's how they justify it.
They charge you $300 each. All of a sudden, it's worth it.
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah. No, it was 67 pounds. I paid for it.
Okay.
Because it was a British site. So that's about $90.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and it was that's $90 for a slab book.
There you go.
Thought it was worth it.
Speaking of slab books, my final show and tell book this time is a slab and another live sale acquisition. It is Strange Tales 115, 4.5, off-white, white pages. Significant for a couple of reasons. If I can get the glare off of it, it is the first Sandman appearance outside of Spider-Man. I think it's actually just the second appearance of the Sandman period. You've got a beautiful Kirby Ditko cover, and there's Spidey like, I'm not in this, but boy, I sure can handle him. And more importantly, and again, it's just like number 110, there's nothing on the cover to tip it off, but this contains the origin of Doctor Strange, the first origin of Doctor Strange in comics in this issue. Because the first couple of Doctor Strange stories, he just appeared and he was magical. And then they thought, oh, wait, we better explain how he got to be Doctor Strange. And it's right here. I bought this because I didn't have one. I love Doctor Strange. I love Kirby. I love all these early Human Torch Strange Tales. Priced nicely. I got it. I'm kind of excited because it's obvious that the book has never been pressed or cleaned. So I might do a little CPR on this. And for those of you who aren't aware what CPR stands for, it is crack, press, and resubmit, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to perform CPR, and maybe we'll film it and walk you guys through the process.
Yeah, that's something you can do with those early slabbed books before pressing was really something people did on a regular basis. You can find some gems that were just submitted without pressing, crack them, and then press them and submit them again, and get a bump in grade. It's
100%.
Yeah.
So your final book is what?
I don't actually have it yet. My final book is a book that I saw. I didn't know it existed before Tuesday. And that is a Star Wars action figure variant cover from number 1. It's the Christopher variant. For anybody who's been buying Star Wars books over the past 10 years or so, you know about the Star Wars action figure variant covers. They are so cool. They are an homage to the figures that you had back in 1977. I remember buying these things, the different Star Wars figures in the little blister packs and on their backing boards. You would see those on the shelf. Each one of the covers is a different book or a different figure for each book. So there are roughly 100 of these books that they produced over the years. They are just iconic. They collected all of the covers from those books in this one issue. So it's really just an issue of covers. The thing that really got me immediately when I saw this thing was the cover of this book. It's a representation of the original storage unit for the action figures that they sold back then. It's shaped like Darth Vader's helmet. And you see Darth Vader's face, you open it up, and inside are compartments to put your figures in. And that's what the cover is. It's just those figures placed, the open case with the figures placed in them in order of hierarchy. It's interesting the hierarchy they place them in.
Yeah.
But it's so cool. It immediately, when I first saw this thing, my hand went immediately to the buy button. I didn't even bother to look up how much this thing was cost. It cost $10. This is an expensive book, and because of that, I don't know how many dealers actually are buying these in bulk. I've already seen prices for these things in the $45 price range on eBay, just because I think once people who are of our age or just Star Wars nerds in general see this thing, they are going to immediately want a copy of this. It's just so under the radar at this point. I'm waiting for it really to be discovered and the heat really hit.
Yeah, I was out and about quite a bit last week, and I saw plenty of the Darth Vader head version, but I didn't see any of the variant with the open carrying case version. So you're onto something there. That is going to be a tough book to snag, I think.
Yeah. Now, if you do see it, snag one. A $10 investment, I don't think is bad, and I could almost guarantee you could sell it on eBay for what you paid. That's going to be. It's one of those books that doesn't. You don't worry about the content. You're buying it for the what it represents.
Yeah.
It represents something significant to collectors, and because of that, it has an intrinsic value.
And it's all about nostalgia and your childhood. And that brings us to our regular feature that we have called the 25-year rule. All right, Richard, 25 years ago, let me take you back to the dark days of 1995. Chains, Biggie, Who else? What else is going on?
Oh God! Did you say Alice in Chains? Oh, that was pretty bad.
And Biggie, you know, there's a two. This was also the end of an era for one of Marvel's big guns, and I say that pun intentionally, the Punisher. The Punisher had seen better days before 1995, and 1995 was significant because that's when all three of the Punisher titles that Marvel was putting out were canceled due to poor sales. Can you believe that?
No, not in today's market. That's impressive. That's
yeah.
scary.
So the Punisher, the 1987 series, ran for 104 issues. The last issue came out in the summer of 1995, and it features the Punisher taking on Bullseye. Alongside that, Punisher War Journal was canceled with issue number 80, and Punisher Warzone was canceled with issue 41. Now, you've heard us talk about final issues in this 90s era where the print runs got significantly smaller. They're tougher to find. No one was holding on to these things. These are all tough books, but especially Punisher 104, because it's got a black cover. It's almost all black around the border, and it features Bullseye, which is a real big fan favorite. The last sale for a 9.8, there has not been a 9.8 sold since April of 2019, and that went for $115. And I found it interesting. There's only 20 9.8s in the CGC census. Now, you know, you can argue, yeah, because nobody cares about this book. I can tell you, every time I've seen this book at a show, it's priced to the gills, and it is gone within an hour of me making a lap and coming back to the same booth.
Yeah, Punisher is one of those characters that will always have some value. I'm surprised that we're not seeing more love for any of these series. I remember the original Punisher series, or the original limited series first, which was really, really cool. And then the series itself started, and it took off with some real interesting books. By the time we got around to 1995, I was no longer collecting, so I wasn't really aware of those. But you know, I see a lot of Punisher War Journals in dollar boxes nowadays, and that's really sad.
You think about this book; it had such a run. It had, between both Punisher titles, you had Jim Lee, Will Spartasio, Eric Larson, pretty much a who's who of who left and went to Image, and I particularly love the Punisher because Mike Barron wrote it, and it was unfair to say it was a realistic book. It wasn't realistic by any stretch of the imagination, but it was written in a realistic style, if that makes any sense. And it was just, except for like when Mike Barron would lose his mind and have the Punisher turn black for a few issues. Due to surgery gone wrong. We have to cover that sometime.
Oh, now I have to read that. That's gonna have to be in my reading list.
And of course, he teams up with Cage because, like, you know, he's the only black superhero around.
Of course,
it's amazing. It's a great. You know, I love Mike Barron, but that one was a bit of a stinker. So let's move on to our underrated books of the week. I am going to look to you for the first one because this one was interesting. I did not know this. You schooled me on this one.
Yeah, this one I have to give props. This was not my find. I found a mention of this in another podcast. They mentioned the fact that they had done some research in Comicron, comicron.com. I have to say, if you are not familiar with that site, it allows you to go and see the print run from pretty much any comic book back through the mid 90s. It's a fantastic resource to see, you know, how many copies of my, you know, Ultimate Fallout 4 were actually printed? How many copies of any of these books? Well, in his research, he found out that they were less than 1,500 copies printed of the third print of New Agents of Atlas #1. And that was something I don't think anyone really had internalized or had actually done research on. We all know about the first print. We know about the second prints, that gorgeous Sabine Rich cover that was done with silk on the cover. That's awesome. And there's some other second print copies, but I wasn't even aware there was a third print available.
And it's a neat cover, right? It's a different cover on the third print.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a copy of it right here. It's a very, very nice cover. We've got I'm actually not sure who that is on the cover. To me, I think it's Arrow.
Zero, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a nice looking book, and this was a $1 book. I mean, this is not, you know, maybe $5 book. It was not, had no import. After the announcement, the book has just skyrocketed. At first, I was having trouble finding them on eBay at all because nobody really cared. Up until recently, you know, we were seeing this book going anywhere from $45 to $60 on eBay. I still think this book has some legs, even at $45. This book is limited for truly, you know, only 1,500 copies of this book out there. Finding them in high grade is probably going to be difficult because they've languished in dollar bins and long boxes out there. So yeah, be on the lookout for this when you're out there hunting. If you see this book, it's definitely worth picking up for, you know, $1 cover price, whatever you can get it, you know, at your local garage sale. And I still even recommend looking at it in the $40 to $50 range. I still think, like I said, there's room for this thing to grow. If so, there's profit in it.
It's interesting because in the old days, a book that was solicited by Marvel that only got 1,451 orders would have been canceled. They wouldn't even bother to print it. So it just goes back to what you were saying about the Sabrina book, or what I was saying was, how are they justifying these small print runs? I'm not suspicious. I'm curious because in my day job, I deal with things like this, print runs, how to, minimum thresholds to make sure that you break even on your costs. So the nerd in me is like, how are they justifying this? It's interesting.
For example, the Peach Momoko Usagi Yojimbo run, it's 200 books.
Yeah.
How do you print 200 books and make a profit? Maybe that was looked at as, a promotional thing more than necessarily a profit center.
Yeah, maybe it's a loss. It's a marketing loss. That does make sense.
Right.
So, interesting. Well, you're talking about dollar boxes. My underrated book of the week is actually a series of books that have languished in dollar boxes for a couple of decades now, and that is Marvel Tales, particularly issues 223 through 239. Now, why are these special? Because they all feature covers by Todd McFarlane. Todd was super hot on Spider-Man at the time. Marvel was no dummy. They wanted to boost sales of Marvel Tales, which reprinted old Spider-Man stories. So they commissioned Todd to draw new covers for Marvel Tales. And it started off, he's doing covers for the normal Spider-Man stories. And then they had another idea to boost sales on top of the McFarlane covers. And that was to start reprinting all the Spider-Man stories that featured mutants. So all the mutant team-ups from Marvel Team-Up, from Spider-Man's regular ongoing series, every issue featured a different reprint of Spider-Man teamed up with Dazzler, Iceman, Angel, and they kept doing this reprint until they get to issues 235 and 236, where they reprint Marvel Team Up Annual #1, which featured the new X-Men. So you've got Todd McFarlane drawing the X-Men and Spider-Man on these two covers. Those two issues really grab a premium on the market. The reason why these are so desirable, you've got tons of Todd fans, but again, these books were not cherished. They were not saved. They were not collected. So they're really tough and scarce in higher grades. Also, some of them have almost completely dark black covers again and are impossible in 9.6, 9.8.
You would think they would learn not to print all black covers.
You would think. But as a result, the average 9.8 slab sales of these books are around $200 each, which is amazing for a book you could probably find in a dollar bin at a show when shows get back in swing. But I would tell you, really flag issues 235 and 236. Those have some classic Todd covers where he's drawn Wolverine and the Colossus and the whole X-Men crew. There is one issue where Todd drew this cover with Spider-Man, Nightcrawler, and Colossus, and they're kind of crawling all over each other, and it's a really weird composition. And you can tell the editor was like, I can't tell Todd that we can't use this cover. I don't understand what's going on. So the cover actually says, what's going on here? Darned if we know. But you know, so that's one of my favorite covers.
Oh, that's hilarious.
As you can tell, Jim Salicrup, the editor, is just like, we got to use this cover. Whatever. Okay, fine. Here's the thing. I just got almost a full run of these on a live sale for $1 each. A couple.
Oh, those. Tell the people about what you found on those books.
Well, there was a bunch of books. I'm not going to tell you my secrets, but I will tell you, I got a bunch of dollar books from someone on Instagram that specializes in dollar book sales. You can figure it out yourself. And not only did I get all these Marvel tales in great shape with McFarlane covers, I also got a slew of Captain Americas with Mark Jeweller's variants. And heck, great, I'll take them. So
yeah.
There are bargains to be had out there still.
Do you know exactly what the Mark Jeweller's variant, by the way, simply is? There's an advertisement inserted in the middle of the comic for a jewelry store called Mark Jeweller's. And in some markets, they had these advertisements inserted in them.
I can tell you what it was for. It was for military bases overseas, PXs. These were sold in PXs because you've got a bunch of young guys in the military, their first time away from home. I was one of them from 88 to 92, Army Hua. And they get overseas, they meet their first girlfriend, and all of a sudden they want to get married. And you got to buy a ring, they got to buy jewelry. And this was target marketing for soldiers and Marines and sailors and airmen overseas. They had Mark's Jewelers inserts in the comics overseas.
Wow, I did not know it was that specific in terms of the marketing.
That's why when you see a lot of the Mark's Jewelers variants from the 70s, they also have a little star stamp on the front cover, because when you used to buy things at the PX magazines, particularly, they had a little stamp, a star stamp at the register, and they would stamp it like a receipt, like this was paid for.
Do you know if CGC gives any kind of ding for that star stamp?
Yeah, I don't think they give you a ding for the star stamp whatsoever. It's considered a date stamp almost.
Awesome.
So now we've been schooled on a whole bunch of stuff this week.
That's right.
So that's going to do it for us this week. Thanks again to everybody for joining us. If you have not followed us on Facebook and Instagram, please do so at Bronze and Modern Gods. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, make Richard's day. Leave us a review and rate us. He loves it. I can't think of something that makes him happier except for maybe finding a new Agents of Atlas #1 third printing for $1 in a dollar bin.
Oh, yes.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank God that you're doing that, because we're not pretty, but we appreciate it. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and like our video and leave us some comments. We love the back and forth with you guys. And we will see you next time.
Stay safe.